Donnie and Dolly. The team is supported by ableauctions.ca. Closing your business? We can help.
That's what I'm talking about. All of our guests today, including Ross Tucker, standing by, sponsored by Passat Motors. There are huge holiday savings at Passat Motors. No GST, no gas, no payments. Check out the great offers at Passat Motors, BASANT Motors.com. Joined now from the Ross Tucker Football Podcast, CBS Sports and Westwood One. Ross Tucker. Ross, thanks for doing this, sir. How are you?
My pleasure. Doing great. How are you guys doing?
Very, very well.
Good.
Okay, so the Bills beat the Chiefs 20-17. Kadarius Toney lining up offside, negating a spectacular touchdown. Where do you stand on that issue? The Chiefs were livid.
Yeah, I don't understand why they're so livid. I tweeted this at Ross Tucker NFL. Honestly, it's disappointing to me. Really disappointing to see a couple guys I really like, I really respect in terms of how they've gone about their careers, and Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes. They're really not coming off favorably in this situation. I mean, he was way off sides. I mean, it's not even a debatable point. All the TV refs that had the job for so long, Terry McCauley, Gene Steratore, they all say that, like, they try to give you the benefit of the doubt, but if you're that offsides, they got to call it. And there's no reason for Kadarius Toney to be that offsides. It was blatant. So Andy Reid wants a warning. Mahomes thinks the play should count because it looked cool. I mean, like, we haven't heard one person yet say he wasn't offsides, right? Yeah. Like, literally everybody agrees that he was offsides. What are we even talking about? And just so you guys know, like, every receiver, Pop Warner, junior high, high school, it's not always easy when you're lined up outside to make sure you're where you need to be.
Yeah.
So you look at the line judge or side judge or whatever, and you say, like, I'm on, and then you get as far up as you can while you're on the ball, and he'll be like, okay, that's good, right? Stay there, okay? Mm-hmm. Or then you get off and you say to the guy, I'm off. Like, you want him to make sure he's not counting you as being up on the line of scrimmage, and he'll be like, yeah, you're good. They don't want to call it. Like, they want to go out. And so Toney clearly never did that. Now, maybe he looked at the ref and was like, I'm on, meaning he's on the line of scrimmage. Mm-hmm. Clearly, he was past the line of scrimmage, but he didn't check to make sure he was lined up okay, that he was lined up correctly. It's really a critical, totally unacceptable and unnecessary mental error from Kadarius Toney. I mean, the way the play unfolded, he didn't even need to be up that far. Like, I don't get it.
Yeah. Hey, Ross, is there more at play here when it comes to the Chiefs? They've lost 3 of their last 4. You know, maybe that adds to their frustration. I would think it would. Is there just your thoughts on the way things are unfolding for them right now?
Oh, there's no doubt in my mind. There's no doubt that their frustration from losing these games and not playing well. They lost to the Packers Sunday night, lost to the Eagles a few weeks ago. I think it's kind of boiling over because this is a win that they knew they really needed to have. They're used to doing a lot of winning, and they're struggling on offense. They're struggling to win these games, and I think that's probably a big reason for why they were as animated as they were after that game last night. They're struggling on offense. They're not what they've been in recent years, at least not right now.
Hey, Ross, Cowboys, Eagles, Dak Prescott, 4 touchdown passes. I mean, the Eagles, back-to-back losses for the first time since 2021. Are you concerned about the Eagles right now?
I am and I'm not. I mean, I'm concerned by the way in which they lost, and in particular, probably their defense, which is really, really struggling. I mean, it's a bottom 10 defense in the NFL right now. The flip side is, their schedule gets easier now. Not that the Seahawks are pushovers, because they're not. That's going to be a competitive game. And then they have the Giants twice and the Arizona Cardinals. So, I mean, you would think the Eagles would still finish 14-3, maybe 13-4 at worst. which feels pretty good, right? I mean, that's a pretty good record. But clearly they're not playing as well in recent weeks as they were earlier in the year, and they've got some issues on defense that they need to solve before they get to the playoffs, that's for sure.
Ross, you obviously watched Trevor Lawrence barely walk off the field Monday. They said high ankle sprain. The guy's playing 6 days later. Like, were you surprised? We thought that Canadian Nathan Rourke, he did get activated for the game, might get some time. But are you surprised at that injury and the way he walked off the field that he played another game 6 days later?
A little bit, although, I follow sportsinjurycentral.com. Those guys do a great job of, it's a bunch of former team doctors that based on the video will tell you what they think. And despite the fact that Jaguars called it a high ankle sprain, those guys at sportsinjurycentral.com, they were the ones saying it's just a regular sprain, a basketball sprain, like a low inversion sprain. They thought, with treatment all week and then getting it taped up that he might be able to play, and he was able to play really well. I don't know, it's an interesting look for Lawrence to look as bad as he did Monday night, trying to walk to the locker room and pounding the ground, then being able to play in the next game.
Hey, Ross, back to the Dallas Eagles game for a second. I think you tweeted about this. Yeah, you did, as a matter of fact. What do you make of here we go, Dak Prescott cadence these days, which seems to be working in terms of winning and losing?
That is interesting. That's not something that we had when I was a player. I don't know what the logic is behind it. They were explaining it or talking about it last night. Now, listen, when I was in New England, that's the first time I heard Omaha. But when Brady said Omaha, it just meant that he wasn't going to be able to go through the full cadence. And after he said Omaha, the next sound we were snapping it. So it was like Omaha, blue goat. So like if we wanted to if the snap counts on one, we would do that. Blue 28 's a hut. But if they were getting late in the play clock, Brady might change it and just say 53 is the mic, Omaha, blue goat. Bam, you're gone. Right? So like the Omaha served the purpose of knowing that like we weren't going to do the regular cadence. We're just going to snap the ball first sound after the Omaha. I don't know what the here we go. I mean, like, I don't know.
It just seems so obvious. It just seems so obvious. It kind of
annoys me, but it's working for him. I wouldn't change a thing if I were them.
What do you make of Joe Flacco? Three touchdown passes.
I love it.
For the Browns.
I love it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's awesome. It's awesome. And also, it's just funny to me. By the way, he just reverted back to the practice squad. He's on the practice squad for the Browns. They named him the starting quarterback for the rest of the year, and he reverted back to the practice squad, which is pretty funny. He's not going to go anywhere else, but that's just comical to me. But, I mean, you look at the stats. He's already putting up better stats in these two games than the Steelers have had in like 5 years. It's unbelievable. Now, Zach Wilson played better for the Jets yesterday, but I had heard that Flacco told the Jets he wanted to play earlier in the year, and they didn't want him. So it's interesting to think where they would be if they had him.
Yeah. Zach Wilson outplayed C.J. Stroud. Hey, I don't know how much you know about Jaden Daniels from LSU, but he wins the Heisman over the weekend. What's your projection for him, in your expert opinion, when it comes to the NFL?
So it's interesting. I talked about that today. On Mondays, actually, I do the college draft podcast where we talk college football, NFL draft, betting on college football. And my co-host, who's excellent, he called him Lamar Jackson light, meaning similar physique, similar players. Daniels might not be quite as explosive. He's very elusive with the ball, and he does a good job throwing it and distributing the ball. Might not be quite as explosive in terms of raw, unadulterated speed, as well as, the arm strength of Lamar, but that in that vein, that's the type of player that you're going to get. Maybe not quite what Lamar is, but he has him as his quarterback too, behind Caleb Williams, ahead of guys like Drake May and others, Quinn Ewers, obviously J.J. McCarthy at Michigan, so Penix up there in the Pacific Northwest, Bo Nix in the Pacific Northwest, so he's pretty high on Daniels.
Okay, Christmas again just around the corner, Ross. My front page story, what can you tell us?
Best Christmas gift ever. We're 2 weeks away. It's crunch time. I know a lot of you still don't know what you're going to get one of your loved ones. Maybe it's a significant other. Oh, I have it. I have it this time for you guys. Wait a sec.
Okay, all right. Go for it.
I forgot. There it is.
Oh, nice.
Oh, beautiful.
That's what it looks like.
Very nice.
Awesome, right?
Who are we looking at there, Ross?
That is my wife's grandmother, which my wife's Pennsylvania Dutch, so they call her Oma and Opa, like it's the German for grandmother and grandma. So that's my wife's Oma, who actually passed about a year and a half ago. Yeah. So it's so cool that we have this forever now. You know what I mean? So when she moved into a senior care facility, we got this story for her so that it has quotes from all four of her kids. That she had something, she's in a room by herself so that she could read it and think about how much all of her kids and grandkids love her. There's a bunch of quotes from the grandkids. But then now that she passed, it's like a keepsake that we'll have forever so that future generations can know all about her. I highly recommend it for any loved one, for any reason, but especially with the holidays coming up, your mom, your dad, certainly your spouse or girlfriend or boyfriend, whatever, myfrontpagestory.com. myfrontpagestory.com. They hang it up. Looks beautiful. They'll cry happy tears, not like Rick's tears when the other guy on the Canucks beat gets the movie.
That happens every day.
Every day.
Who's like Rick's main competition?
For what?
Scoops.
For breaking news about the Canucks.
There's 500 guys. Ross, it's competitive. It's tough.
No, there's a guy named Elliot Friedman.
Friedman out of Toronto.
That's a guy I follow.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah.
Have a nice day, Ross.
We're gonna get my front page story to do something on the Elliot, and we'll send it to Rick.
Elliot Friedman, do something for Friedman.
I'm gonna do a story on the best Canucks newsbreaker, Elliot Friedman, myfrontpagestory.com. I'm just kidding. Rick's the man. You guys know I love Rick. Can't wait
I
to
know
meet
you
in
do.
person.
Yeah. I love you too, Ross. There's no ifs, ands, and buts about it.
Yeah. Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas, Ross. Next week.
See you guys, myfrontpagestory.com. See ya.
Beautiful. Thank you so much.